For the trombone, here's some basic things you should do regularly to keep your trombone clean and in good working condition. The trombone only has a couple parts that you put together. The slide going into here, right, and the mouthpiece going onto the slide. Let's do a quick assembly and then we'll get to the cleaning. When you put the slide on, you want to put it a little more than a finger's width away from the bell, like that. I'm ready to rock. Always keep the slide lock on when you're not playing. It's a good habit, because if you don't have your slide lock on and your slide is well greased, you could have that going. And you don't want that. You don't want your slide sliding off and clanking onto the floor. Then you have other problems, because the slide has to be straight. So you get the slide lock on, and that's it. This is your main tuning slide. I grab both sides of the tubes here and put my thumbs on the bottom, push up. To pull it back down, I put my thumb here on those crossbar fingers up here, and I push it down. I don't push from here because I don't want to create any extra pressure on the slide, and just to make sure I don't bend anything. Okay, so let's clean the tuning slide. I'm going to push all the way up. Then you're going to grab it and just wiggle it. As long as you're pulling straight, and you have to be a little patient, it comes off. Okay, this should be cleaned regularly. Regularly, like at least once a week. The more you practice, then you may have to clean it more. Very simply, just wipe both sides off. Now, you can use cork grease. It's not my first choice because it's a little thick, it's a little gooey, and it makes tuning this, pulling this up and down, a little harder than it should be. So I like to use either this, the slide grease. This is great. You got to use your fingers though to put it on. This is what you probably have, came with your trombone. Or this, I like to use this, Slide Ease. This is cork and slide grease, and it's very thin, and it makes it work very well. A couple dabs on each side is all you need. I'm going to poke a finger through an old rag here, distribute the grease all around, like that, and put it back on. The thick part here is a little longer than the thin part, so this is going to go on first. And put them both on. Just be careful, gentle. Just go straight down, and then should go right on, just like that. Work it up and down a couple of times, and don't put too much grease on. If you have grease blobbing out, just wipe it off, and you're good to go. Now, before we take it apart, before we take the slide off and clean the slide, I just want to show you this. It's a polishing cloth. Probably every time after you practice, you pick up the trombone, or maybe you play a couple of times, give it a wipe off here on the outside. And this is only for the outside. Don't clean the slide with it and then wipe the outside of the trombone off. So this is for, right, you get the idea. Just wipe the whole thing off, keep it nice and shiny, protects the finish. Okay, let's clean the slide. Slide lock is on. Take the slide lock off. Pull it apart. We're going to clean both tubes by first wiping them off until they're shiny. No goos on there. Look how shiny that is. Okay. Then, I do not recommend cork grease. If you need like a quick fix, you're practicing is a little sticky, a couple drops of slide oil, a drop or two on each of these tubes is fine. Again, I use Slide Ease. I use this for everything, especially if I'm doing a cleaning job like this. A couple dabs on each side is all you need. Get the finger through the rag, work it around. Notice I'm only putting lube here at the bottom where the bump is, and this is where it touches on the inside. So that's really the only spot where you need to put the lube. And put it back on together. And now it should be as smooth as butter. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, for the mouthpiece, very simply, put it in warm soapy water. You don't need any sprays, any chemicals, no alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, just warm soapy water. Wash it with your fingers, rinse it out good. You can also get a cleaning kit like this. It comes with the grease, a polishing cloth, and it should have this. This is a mouthpiece for a clarinet cleaner, but it looks like this. It's a little smaller. It's a mouthpiece brush, and you can get it inside here, and you can clean this out really well. Or you can put it in a dishwasher. Actually, this one just came out of the dishwasher. Good option. It disinfects too. Alright, if you have a P-bone or plastic trombone, like this one, which comes in an array of colors, same thing. You're only putting it together when you're squeezing these parts together, put the slide into place like that. Right, a little more than a finger's width away from the bell. Now, as far as the slide, just wipe this down. You can have a very slightly damp cloth, and you want to wipe that off, and just let it dry though before you put it this part back on. And you clean this off just like I did with the brass trombone. Clean these brass ends off, and then a little slideys on both sides or slide grease, and that's it. You're good to go. That's for the P-bone. As far as the tuning slide, just pull it off. Just wipe these off. Wipe both ends off on a regular basis, you know, at least once a week. The more you practice, then you do it more frequently. Again, this mouthpiece, warm soapy water, same deal goes. And that's it for the trombones. See you later.